I've produced a 1.5-hour-long magnum opus video response to the Philippines National News CBN, and Dr. Maher Lagmay, Executive Director of the Philippines NOAA, their version of NOAA. Titled Weather Modification 101, it is a point-by-point response to each question raised. Also I address their ad hominem attacks, while using their attempted smears, to bring forth the data from Gov and Edu sites, showing military releases, along with laboratory experiments, current mainstream media coverage, and then finishing with the current typhoon examples prior to Typhoon Hanai and Yolanda, as the doctor asked for in their attempted failed debunk news piece. I had to request, and receive permissions of use from mainstream media outlets, thus the delay on this video. Links will be provided for each, as well as permissions. This is more or less a documentary on the subject now. My original video had all the same information below it in the video description field, literally every link provided previously. However, it appears some people, or most people it seems, do not check anything, or read anything provided. I wouldn't have to make this video, if the doctor or the Philippines News had followed even one single links to verify. Instead, met with total denial, labeled as a quote conspiracy theorist, and they even went so far as to make the false claim that I am anonymous, saying no one knows who I am, etc. Which is totally false. Everyone knows my name, it's on my website, beneath my most popular post, My Who Is. They also could have checked my Facebook, or just searched even the troll pages, to find out who I am. LOL, searching troll sites to find someone, but even then they would have found my name at least. Seriously, news media doing zero investigation before spouting off. Need someone's name? He has a Facebook page. Lol. Why not check it? Video forthcoming when it finishes processing, and uploaded to YouTube. Hope you all find useful information. This video should really open up doors, and prove to the science community, that for a long while now this information has been obfuscated, hidden. Hidden for good reason. Due to the power of the devices, their cheap construction, their easy operation, and the new physics doors opened up by generating 0.0 vector energy at a distance. It throws certain aspects of the inverse square thermodynamics laws into an X factor, in essence, moving the goalposts on what is possible through the use of radio waves. Radio frequency RF is now proved to be capable of generating energy at the distance from the transmitter. Energy means heating or plasma. The plasma is generated via literal stripping of electrons from the Earth's magnetosphere, ionosphere, or atmosphere. This is called electron precipitation. The electron precip accumulates rapidly into what we would call a precursor to plasma. The same thing that happens before a lightning bolt developing, electrons building up to the point of a static discharge. However, with a targeted beam of RF, electrons precipitate in a controlled area, and quickly forms into visible plasma. The plasma, once it is formed, has been experimented with. They have found that using another targeted beam of high-frequency HF radio frequency, that the second beam can control the area of plasma generated. Using the second beam, the plasma area can be moved. It can be increased in size power, through a process called a frequency pump or pumping. Quite literally, using devices like radar, HF or VHF, to target the plasma generated, and pump it to thousands of degrees Fahrenheit. There are other experiments done, where the reverse is performed, and what is called a cold plasma can be pumped down, to make a cooler area relative cooler compared to surrounding areas in the upper atmosphere into ionosphere, where temps are measured in Kelvin rather than Fahrenheit or Celsius. The heated or cold pump plasma can be moved, as demonstrated and talked about by the director of HAARP in Alaska through Project Shiva. Shiva was the use of what are called plasma toroids, which could really just be called fast-moving balls of controlled plasma. Like ball lightning, but not electric plasma. These toroids can be moved at speeds nearing the speed of light, speed of magnetism. Bragged about by the United States military, as a missile defense weapon, that has already been tested, and is ready capable along with HAARP. Furthermore, the director of HAARP claimed HAARP itself would now function as the new Shiva, capable of generating the plasma toroids. Then, using other radar RF facilities to move said toroids across the atmosphere space. The other use for this heated, or cooled plasma, is weather modification. The United States Air Force, the United States Navy, NASA. Just to name a few agencies, the list actually numbers in the multiple dozens of groups involved. All these agencies have done fully documented experiments, and now, deployments of these practices, specifically for the purpose of weather modification. Full documents, going back to the late 1990s, showing the intended use for such RF-producing facilities to aid in the battlefield, generate cloud banks, instantly move fog onto airfields, shoot down incoming missiles, look into the earth, search out submarines in the ocean, search for tunnels underground, search for oil, natural gas, and even to take down aircraft, generate large EMP electromagnetic pulse blasts, capable of generating actual lightning, plasma heated or cooled, and capable of generating VLF in addition to all other aforementioned capabilities. You might ask, how can a HF facility generate low frequency? There is a natural process, known as efficiency scaling. Experiments have been done by Stanford along with HAARP, and the United States Navy, which prove that when a high-frequency pulse is emitted from a facility such as HAARP for instance, but could be any facility on Earth, when that HF pulse goes out into the upper atmosphere ionosphere, this HF pulse naturally cross-modulates into VLF. Simply put, the HF turns into VLF when it reaches a high point in its arc of transmission. I say arc of transmission because the signal, when sent out, travels out to a point determined by the power of the antenna transmitting the signal. Once it reaches its zenith, the HF pulse along with its electromagnetic potential travels to a conjugate point on the south pole. A conjugate point, they have found via experiments at HAARP, is a corresponding point, magnetic point, on the opposite pole from the transmission source. Again, simply put, if you send out a signal from the North Pole, it goes up into space, and then goes back down to a point on the South Pole. However, they have found that when the signal reaches the South Pole, that planet Earth actually repels the charged signal back to the North Pole. This happens before the signal actually reaches the planet's surface. This all happens at the speed of light magnetism, and the signal bounces on this magnetic string back and forth for several days. Assuming that no more pumping is done into the string, the resonance happening on this string eventually settles out to electromagnetic ground, which in essence is the core of the Earth. The VLF and HF waves have different effects. HF for plasma, heating, missile defense, weather modification. VLF for earth-penetrating tomography, long-range communications, even as far as inducing earthquake activity, volcanic eruptions, and even the potential for influencing objects in space. Summed up, weather modification is a large aspect of the potential uses for RF devices. A high-frequency, or microwave pulse can surely be counted in as a culprit for inducing tropical storms, typhoons, tornadoes, flooding, storms, hail, and damaging winds. Also generation of physical lightning, aurora borealis, animal disruptions, and negative health effects on the human body. Everything I've said is an indisputable fact. Hope this description of this series of discoveries helps you understand my thinking going into making videos on this touchy subject, weather modification via frequency. I want everyone involved to know, I've put a couple years, and all my spare time into researching this. I don't take any of this lightly. It is not a popular topic to discuss. People literally laugh and shun the discussion of the aforementioned topics. I've literally put all I am into finding out all I can on this. I hope my words are not falling upon empty ears, eyes in this case. Lol, cheers to all, much love. Michael Janich Detsusens.